Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. This morning, we are joined by Jennifer Shealey. You may have seen her on the national circuit. At 42 years old, she lost her job and she turned her side hustle into a six-figure income.
I think God just prepared me young to depend on Him. And it's kind of been the same story ever since. And so, as you age and you realize some patterns in your life, I just realized, this is my story. Like, I feel like I'm kind of like a Jeremiah. And I was, kind of caught up in certain prisons in my life, whether it was, growing up through my family and the confusion of being a believer, but then my father not being a believer and essentially not understanding what he's saying and how he's harming me, wanting to go after Christ and my mom and my sister. But, we overcome by the word of our testimony and by the blood of the Lamb. And, a lot of times that I've kind of fallen away from Christ, some of my own doing, and other times, kind of getting tired, of, hate to be frank, church people. I feel like
sometimes they can be the harshest.
They are. And, and maybe I have been too. And, I have grown and developed myself. But I do know this, that if a person is sitting in a church, whether a young Christian or a mature Christian, and they are struggling, we need to help each other. And I just feel like, at least for my experience, it's there at the beginning, but as you continue on, being, a believer, there's kind of like this persona you have to carry. And I don't know, like, it's just not me anymore. I just want to be myself and be honest with people and let people know that I love Christ. Like, I get up and I pray and
your sexuality
struggle.
has nothing to do with it.
No, it doesn't. No, I mean, I have fought different people with that.
Is that where the hurt comes from? When you
within the church, I would believe so. Yeah, more so than racial. God has just been so fortunate. Even when my parents couldn't afford to send me to a school I wanted to go to in Texas to get leadership training that was biblical, and God paved the way and provided every penny for me to stay there for 3 years. And I went to an academy out there, and long story short, I kind of worked my way through leadership for 3 years. I ended up basically reframing the whole organization and rewriting it and setting and establishing a student government, because I was so passionate about other believers that I was going to school with, getting their needs, like practical needs met, like laundry and parking and things like that kind of maybe get left to the side when you're worshiping and going for God and traveling and doing missions and all this stuff. But it was there that once I got to a certain peak with the organization, I was struggling with my identity and who I was. I ended up, going into 2 relationships that I shouldn't have because it wasn't acceptable at that organization. And so unfortunately, they had to kick me out. And I was at the peak of I felt in my relationship with Christ. And so to get kicked out by, 500 plus believers, it crushed my world. And I had to come back home. And I like to say the transition was easy, but it wasn't. I had to drive 24 hours, in a truck from Texas to Florida with my father, and no positive words. I was nothing but a disgrace. So
I'm sorry.
It was hard to pick myself up, especially from your family. Those are the people that held you when you're young. They gave me a roof, and I'm very fortunate and thankful for all that. But in terms of what I have to do in my life and what I have to do for Christ, that is an assignment that Christ has given me. And, I had to go down again to come back up. And so I understood things like, I saw where I was at fault. And then I wanted to not, be gay anymore. And so I was doing everything I could possible, grow my hair out as long as I could, put on a bunch of makeup. But I just felt like I was playing a part, and I just couldn't understand it. And I kept talking to God, and then I got mad at him. I didn't talk to him for a while because I just thought, well, you left me and nobody likes me. No, nobody from my Christian group reached out to me. They don't care when you fall. They leave you there. And that's what I learned. And I said, God, you say in the Bible that you do not forsake me. My father, my mother, my sister, my brother, my friends, they can all leave, but you don't forsake me. And, he picked me up, got back in church, and I thought I was doing good, but then I was still having this conflict because I don't personally feel attracted to men. I've never felt that way since I was a kid. But, a lot of immense bullying through my own home, through the schoolyard, through the church, out in the workplace. I mean, I don't know who's different, to be honest, And so I guess that's what puts in my heart. Like, I try to want to be an example to other people about what they think a gay person is. And no, I'm not running through the streets naked. No, I don't hit the bars. Me and my girlfriend, we praise God. We want to serve him. We want him to a larger territory so we can do more in this world. Because I look around and I feel so compelled for the younger generation. A lot of them are walking around very lost. And I see people in my generation not wanting to help, thinking that they need to just know it. And it doesn't say that in my Bible. It says the older women need to be teaching the younger women, and the same for the men. And, even today, before I got on the call, I had a young girl, her car broke down in front of my home, and smoking. And I just about saw every family member show up in front of my home and yelling, screaming. And I just looked back and I just thought, she's like 18. She doesn't know about her car. This is a moment where you as a parent could step in and say, I'm disappointed. Yeah, but literally 4 or 5 people she got yelled at. I mean, worst day of her life. And I didn't want to make it worse. And I just sat back and I prayed. And I said, you know what? I know the struggle of getting your car fixed because I've already gone through myself 5 mechanics and I can't get my car fixed. That's where I'm sitting today. But you know what? I have to believe that God is going to make everything work out. He helped with my job situation. And, it was back in 2014 when I got let go of a job. I was the project manager or administrator for a tile company. And I thought this was the road, for me to be a project manager. I was working on my master's at Florida Tech here in Melbourne. And I was like, okay. But, the atmosphere was very toxic. And then the more that I observed, I was like, this is not for me. I don't want to work like this. And then, God sent an angel and pretty much got me fired. And I got fired because I was on my phone. A lot of people think I was texting or whatever, but I literally just put on some music and I had an earbud in. Because we did a lot of data entry and it's very boring. And I just needed something to keep me alive, in the cold, dark place that I worked. And so that's how I got let go. And I said, okay, I got to go back to this house that's not mine, rented. And I'm going to figure out how I'm going to pay my bills. And got on unemployment. Was on that for at least 6 months. And I had to fight for that because my previous job did not want to give that to me. So I had to be on basically like a court call to fight for the payments that I deserve. And then, God answered that and I got that. And, it helped to propel me. And then I was sitting in my house and I was in a bad relationship and I just didn't want it anymore. I don't know what I had done, what patterns I was doing in my life that I was repeating from my family's tree. And I was just in a mess. And I was like, I got to get out of this relationship. I was with, an alcoholic, and we're still a covert until I learned more being around that person. And it really affected me. and it just everything was going bad. And I had to I just heard this voice, get it out, get it out. And I just kicked everything that was not good for me out. And I frustrated a lot of people, and it is what it is, but I'm very thankful for it because I had to go heal my soul. Like, people can torment you. And I just felt like that's just what's been happening in my life, up to that point. And so I got out, and then I was getting on the computer. I'm like, I'm doing this thing. I'm going to work at home. I'm like looking up, how do I work at home jobs? And then there was Fiverr. And then I just remember like hearing God's voice go, this is it. You need to do this. And I just beamed up, got excited. I was like, this is it. Like, I'm going to work at home. And I told my girlfriend at the time, and she said, you're crazy. You need to go. You need to go back to that job over there. You need to beg for your job. It's like, beg for my job in a toxic place? Why? I was like, no. So I got rid of her, got rid of everything, and started working on Fiverr, started at $5 a gig. And little by little, I got a roommate, tried to make ends meet, and built that up for 7 years. And now, God has blessed me with 6 figures. I've never made 6 figures in my life.
Wow.
I barely ever made $20 by the time I was 35. It's just a shame out here what people give and what they think. And I'm running circles, and I'm doing multiple jobs, but now I'm not so angry anymore. I've let it go, because you have to understand, just God uses everything. So if those people gave me the fight and the grit to not give up, I am thankful for that. It gets me up every day, and to not take advantage of the opportunities that I have, the people that I influence every day around the world on Fiverr and online,
So when did you start to see Fiverr starting at $5 a gig? When does it become lucrative? At what point? Because now everybody is looking at you thinking, if Jennifer is doing it, then maybe I can too.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be straight up. Okay. It's not overnight, unless you're a genius and that works for you. Good for you. For me, I had no parent, no good friend around me saying, hey, this is how to, get on the road to financial literacy. I had nothing. Like, I was Googling and following people that I felt were influencers, and then I, logged into Fiverr, and then I got started. So you just set up an account. That's just what I did. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm going to do marketing. I'm going to do Facebook ads, because I was looking at the statistics at the time, and the, economic statistics were saying that, social media marketers were going to be in demand in the next, 30, 40 years. So I was like, sure, let's do this. And I basically taught myself, and, with the help of other influencers, like, let's see if I can remember, Ryan Dice. He's a main guy that helped me out a lot. I don't know if he's a believer, but he's a great marketer, and he speaks in such a way that he just knows how to walk you from A to Z on how to get started in marketing and being a digital marketer. And so that's what I did. And then, steadily. So starting at 5, and then at one point, I think I had my package at 25, and then 50. And I hung out there for a little bit at 50. And then, started looking at the market and go, oh, well, I can make, more than this. And then today I'm, doing gigs at 175 plus.
Wow.
Per project. So, I love what I do. I get to meet people all over the world of all kinds of skin colors and languages. And I get to help them, grow their business on Facebook and YouTube, and do that thing, that side hustle thing. That's what I thought. I never thought I was going to be full time. I thought, oh, this will probably be always side. But God's always preparing, and I'm very thankful.
And so what about those national opportunities? What do you think when, CNBC comes calling, and, you start being written about in all these magazines and these articles, like how we found you? What do you start to think?
Humble. If you would have got me back when I was like 30, I probably would have been like, whoa,
Hmm.
it's so humbling. Like, I just hope and I ask God to keep me strong. Because as you get more responsibility, the devil likes to come and frustrate. So, but I'm very thankful. And I just want to be his mouthpiece. And I know, you can't maybe always talk about God in the world and through those platforms, but to have the ability to do that on your platform, that really got my heart excited because I could talk about my beliefs and why I believe what I believe and why I do what I do. But as far as national recognition, yeah, I mean, CNBC, it just blew me away. Had no idea all of this would lead to that. And then from there, it's just sparking these other opportunities. I'm sitting in, your studio with people like Priscilla Schreier. I mean, I love that woman. Like
I
she
do
sat
too.
at your table.
Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes.
just can't even believe it. It's amazing what God will do, like beyond your dreams, you know?
Absolutely. And you are a testament to that. And you said it earlier. We're justified by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And we just have to tell about what God is doing in our lives. And there are people that will hurt us along the way, and we
Hmm.
just have to keep on keeping on. And I think that you have an incredible, incredible story. We want every person who wants not to be in drudgery with what they do every day to look
Hmm.
at your story and your struggles, because it's never easy, but just
Mm-mm.
know that it is possible.
Hmm.
How did
It
you
is
keep
if you
on
don't,
keeping on?
oh,
Go ahead.
keeping on. I don't know. I guess I just have a very strong mindset. Like I don't like it when people tell me I can't do something. And I think because growing up and, you know, with family and stuff, getting a lot of dreams shot down, I guess it built me strong. I felt
Hmm.
very fragile growing up, but it has prepared me because that's what I do. If God's told me to do something, I don't stop, even if people tell me to stop. I might pause, and I have.
Hmm.
I've sat down, I've lost a little hope, but like, I don't know, I still like, there's just something like he'll remind me I'm here. And so that's why I keep going. Because I don't ever want to feel like I did before, so empty, so lost, not having a home, and now I'm getting ready to have my own house.
Hmm.
It's crazy to me. Like, I didn't grow up that way. My parents didn't have a house, they rented.
Hmm.
It's just like God will do things. It doesn't always have to be the same. If it's always the same, I get tired of that unless it's like good character and, good wisdom from God. Like that's cool that it's the same, but you don't have to live the same. My daddy drank, my mommy drank, my dad hit me, my mom, I'm going to hit. Like, stop. It's
Hmm.
insanity.
Hmm.
And when you stop doing those things that your family taught you that wasn't good, God honors that. And I have laid a lot of things down I'm not going to do because we got to get ready for the kingdom. Like, I'm not knocking at the door and getting left behind.
Hmm.
Um, I tell them that often. I'm like, I may lose hope, but I'm going to get back up and I'm going to
Hmm.
fight. So that's what I do. And that's what drives me is
Absolutely. It
it's,
sounds like you've broken the cycle,
mm-hmm,
those generational cycles
mm-hmm.
that all many of us struggle with having to break. You've broken that, and you have an incredible story, and we know that God's got great things for you. Before we've got to let you go, tell people how they can connect with Fiverr and how they can connect with the work that you do there.
Absolutely. So if you want to reach me directly, just go to fiverr.com/go pros. So GOPROS, go pros. And you can reach me directly if you need help with your Facebook ads, your YouTube SEO, Amazon SEO, product images, graphic
Mm-hmm.
design.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to help you out, help you to grow if you're getting started out. But if you want to learn how to be a seller like myself, you can reach me too at the same place. And I can get you started and get you some information so that way, if you want to start Fiverr on the side, as you're doing your, other jobs, explore it. It doesn't hurt. It would be just a little extra money. I just wanted to afford food for the month. That was
Mm-hmm.
my first goal.
Mm.
I could pay for groceries.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you extend that goal as you go on. So
Mm-hmm. And so
I
now
appreciate you.
and now you're making a six-figure income. We appreciate you and we appreciate your heart, because the word says that God judges the hearts of men and women. And so, that's the most important thing. We just can't wait to see what God's going to do in your life. It's going to be bright and you're going to go through the moon. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. I
And
appreciate you, Carlette. I'd love
indeed,
to see you next time and chit chat and whatever we need to do.
we'll do it. Hey, everybody, stay on point. We're back with more right after this.